Jungkook reunites with his childhood friend living on the streets. What he did will move you to tears. It was a cold December night in Seoul when Jungkook left another long meeting at HYBE's studio. Fatigue weighed on his shoulders as he walked. Through the neon-lit city streets, his hoodie pulled over his head in an attempt to go unnoticed among the nighttime crowd. He had a habit of walking home after intense work days, as these solitary moments helped him process the emotions and music that bubbled in his mind. That night, for some reason he couldn't even explain to himself, Jungkook decided to take a different route. Maybe it was the exhaustion, or perhaps destiny had other plans for him. As he passed one of the exits of Hongdae subway station, he noticed several homeless people trying to warm themselves near the ventilation grates that exhaled hot air from the underground. The scene wasn't uncommon in Seoul, especially during the harsh winter, but something made his steps slow down until he stopped completely. Among those figures huddled against the cold, wrapped in tattered blankets and cardboard, there was a face that made Jungkook's heart race. Even with the unkempt beard and disheveled hair, even with the extreme thinness that changed the contours of his face, he instantly recognized those eyes. They were the same eyes that stared at him in the yellowed photographs of his childhood, the same ones that sparkled with joy when they ran together across the school playground. "It can't be," he murmured to himself, feeling his legs tremble. It was Kim Min-ho, his best friend from elementary school. The boy who had once promised they would conquer the world together. Memories invaded his mind like an avalanche. Jungkook remembered those golden days when they were only 9 years old. Min-ho was the brave boy who always defended him from school bullies. The one who shared his lunch when Jungkook forgot his at home. They spent entire afternoons playing video games, dreaming of becoming rock stars. "When we grow up, we're going to form a band," Min-ho used to say, pretending to play guitar with an old broom, "and we'll be famous all over the world." "What?" would respond, holding an imaginary microphone made from a hairbrush. The last time they saw each other was on a rainy spring day. When Min-ho's family moved to Busan because of his father's job, he made a solemn promise that day, sealed with a childish handshake. "No matter where we are, we'll always be brothers." That was 15 years ago, an eternity in the life of two boys who became men without ever meeting again. Jungkook approached slowly, his heart pounding in his chest so hard he was sure the entire street could hear it. Min-ho was unrecognizable. Too thin, wearing clothes that clearly hadn't been washed in weeks, and with an empty gaze that had once been full of life and dreams. When he was just a few meters away, Jungkook called out hesitantly, "Min-ho? Min-ho? Is that you?" The man slowly raised his eyes, and for a moment, a spark of recognition shone in his tired gaze. But that spark was quickly replaced by panic and deep shame. Min-ho tried to pull away, hiding his face in his trembling hands. "You must be confusing me with someone else," he murmured, his voice hoarse and broken. Jungkook knelt on the cold ground, not caring about the freezing concrete that pierced through the fabric of his pants. "It's me, Jungkook, your friend from elementary school. Remember, we were going to form a band together." "You are my soulmate," he said, repeating the English phrase they used to say to each other as children, imitating the American singers they admired. Upon hearing those words, Min-ho could no longer pretend. Tears began to stream down his dirty face, and all the weight of years of suffering came to the surface. "Jungkook, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to see me like this. I never wanted you to see me like this," he sobbed, still trying to hide. "What happened, brother? How did you end up here?" asked Jungkook, feeling his own voice fail with emotion. The story Min-ho told through tears broke Jungkook's heart into 1,000 pieces. His parents had died in a car accident 3 years ago. Min-ho had lost his job during the pandemic and, with no family to support him, fell into a spiral of depression. He started drinking to forget the pain, lost his apartment when he could no longer pay rent, and when he realized it, he was living on the streets. It's invisible to the world that had once been his home. "Why didn't you look for me? You knew I was." "Here, in Seoul?" asked Jungkook, although deep down he knew the answer. Min-ho laughed bitterly. "Look for Jungkook from BTS, the boy who achieved all our childhood dreams? How could I appear in your life being This being a failure? Jungkook felt like he had been punched in the stomach. While he lived under spotlights, adored by millions around the world, his childhood best friend was fighting alone against his demons on Seoul's cold streets. Guilt and pain mixed in his chest, but he knew this wasn't the time to lament. It was time to act. You're not a failure. You're my brother. And brothers don't abandon brothers, he said firmly, taking off his own coat and placing it on Minho's trembling shoulders. Get up. You're coming with me now. Minho tried to protest, worried about the exposure this could bring to Jungkook's career, but Jungkook wouldn't listen. Without caring who might see them, Jungkook helped Minho to his feet and took him to the nearest hotel. He paid for a luxury suite, ordered new clothes to be sent, hot food, and called a private doctor to examine his friend. But Jungkook's next action was what truly shocked the world. That same night, he made a post on his Instagram that quickly spread across all social media. The photo showed the two of them embracing in the hotel room, Minho already clean and wearing new clothes, but still with red eyes from crying so much. The caption read, "This is Kim Minho, my childhood best friend. Life separated us, but destiny reunited us today. He's going through difficulties and needs help to start over. If you know of job opportunities or want to help in any way, please get in touch. Sometimes all we need is a second chance and people who believe in us." The reaction was instant and overwhelming. Within 2 hours, the post had millions of likes and thousands of supportive comments. The hashtags #MINHOStrong and #JungkookHeart reached worldwide trending topics. Armies from around the world began sharing the story, offering help, jobs, and words of encouragement. The next day, something extraordinary happened. Among the hundreds of support messages arriving every minute, one caught Jungkook's special attention. It was from a woman named Park Soojin, who said, "Jungkook, my name is Soojin. I don't know if you'll believe this, but I'm Minho's sister. We lost each other 10 years ago when our parents died, and I was seriously injured in the same accident. I spent years in the hospital, and when I got out, I couldn't find him anymore. I've been looking for him for so long. Please, help me find him." Jungkook almost dropped his phone when he read the message. He ran to the room where Minho was taking a shower and shouted through the door, "Minho, Minho, you won't believe this. Your sister is alive. She's looking for you." What followed was one of the most emotional moments of Jungkook's life. 3 hours later, in a private cafe in Gangnam, he witnessed one of the most touching reunions he had ever seen. Soojin and Minho embraced and cried for long minutes, unable to speak, just making sure the other was real. "I thought you had died in the hospital," Minho cried. "I thought the same about you when you disappeared," Soojin replied, caressing her brother's face as if he were a child. The surprises didn't stop there. Soojin revealed that she owned a small music production company and immediately offered Minho a job as a sound technician, something he had always loved to do, but never had the opportunity to turn into a career. Additionally, the mobilization of Jungkook's fans had created an unprecedented wave of solidarity. Dozens of armies organized an online fundraiser that raised enough for Minho to rent a decent apartment and restart his life with dignity. 6 months later, Jungkook was in his personal studio when he received an audio message from Minho that made him smile with tears in his eyes. "Brother, I just recorded my first song in Soojin's studio. Remember our childhood promise about forming a band? Well, it's never too late, right? How about a collaboration?" That same day, Jungkook posted a photo of the two of them in the studio, working side by side on a new song, with the caption, "Some friendships are eternal. Some promises are worth waiting 15 years to be fulfilled." Minho, my brother, welcome back to your life. The story of Jungkook and Minho became a symbol of hope and unconditional love. Minho, who today works as a music producer and lives with his sister Soojin, is recording an album in partnership with Jungkook about second chances, true friendship, and the transformative power of compassion. His life was completely transformed, not only by a friend's gesture, but by the wave of love that spread when one person decided not to pretend they didn't see another's suffering, because in the end, we all deserve a second chance. And sometimes, angels come to us wearing hoodies and sneakers, walking through Seoul's cold streets. reminding us that we're never alone, as long as there's someone who cares enough to stop, look, and extend their hand.